Welcome everyone. Welcome to Tech Talk Friday, and I'm Roshan Tiran. I'm here again this Friday, faithfully. Tomorrow's going to be a holiday. Happy Diwali to all our Hindu friends out there. But Tech Talk Friday, without fail, rain or shine, shine or rain, we are here. And as always, I've got my partner in crime, Karamjit Singh. Karam, he does the crime. I'm the partner. So, Karam, welcome to the show. What show do we have today?
I think today quite exciting. We've got Julian Ng.
The way you say it is a bit unexciting, So today's an exciting show. Come on, Karam. Where's the energy? It's
No,
like,
no,
come
no,
on.
no. No. I look. I'm always. People say I'm always excitable, so I'm trying to tone it down a bit. No, but we've got Julian Ng from BFM, ex BFM, and many of you would know him. The name would ring a bell with BFM. He's one of their best presenters. And he has, after leaving BFM, he was there for 4 years for full, and then he was on and off with them a little bit, and left in end of 2018. He has launched a startup called Akru now, Akrunow, and I think it's a play on the English word Akru, Accru. I actually haven't asked him. But what's interesting is that he has got into the robo-advisory game. Okay, this is where you're using artificial intelligence to help people, to help select stock picks for people. Okay, you just set the risk profile you want, and then the algorithm will do the rest. And what is amazing is, Roshan, after getting him on, I actually just now, so I just turned 55 a few days ago, and because in Malaysia, thank you in Malaysia, 55 is a magic number, because then if you're working in the private sector like me, you suddenly are able to unlock your forced savings that the government imposes on you, right? So for the first time in my life, I have disposable income.
Did you take it all out?
No, not yet lah. I'm going to wait for next year to get the interest for this whole year lah. I don't want to touch it yet, right? But anyway, the point here, I've got disposable income. So I know somebody who's a fantastic professional investment advisor, and I actually made an appointment. I spoke to him just at 5:30, and then I wanted to talk to him. And before I spoke to him, suddenly, because of Julian's the story, right? Because he's doing an ECF thing. So he is raising money on equity crowdfunding with Pitchin, and then so we're getting on the show. And then I also talked to an ex-colleague of mine who's become a savvy investor, and I said, hey, dude, I've got Julian coming on robo-advisory, and I'm leaning towards parking my money with a traditional professional investor because I know him very well, right? So the trust is there. And would you trust your money with an algorithm or high-touch person? And he went and said that, no, Karam, do it on your own, because there's so many tools out there, and because of the internet and because of data analytics, there's so much information you can get for free, make your own investments. And he says what, Roshan, why help them buy their Mercedes and their BMWs? Do it yourself. And I know Julian may be laughing in the background there, because probably he's got a Porsche, okay, but I didn't use Porsche. And
semi laughing, but yeah.
Semi laughing. So I said, and I was saying that. So you've got basically three ways you can go, right? Do it yourself, like my friend says. My leaning is towards the high touch method, a trusted person, a professional guy who's got a proven track record of making money for people, or go with software, the world of software AI, which is what Julian represents. So with that as a background, these options on, let's get Julian onto the show.
Right, Julian, welcome to the show. Julian, glad to have you with our show and in our show.
Hey guys, I'm so honored and happy to be here. You guys are so funny, man. I thought this was going to be a boring interview, but
boring,
it's so entertaining, man. It's so
entertaining. The boring one, but
No, Roshan,
well done.
You are the boring one, Julian. So Roshan is the funny one. I'm the serious one, so I got to maintain the balance.
He's serious. He's the serious one.
Okay, Roshan, shut up now, please. Julian, please.
Right, Julian.
Okay. By the way, the US Election Commission got the idea for the mute button from our Tech Talk Friday. So we have employed.
We occasionally mute Karam. So anyway, I'm going to mute myself. I'll let you guys have a quick conversation. So go for it, Karam.
Yeah. So Julian, look, you became an entrepreneur, and of course you were in banking before. I think you've had a pretty good career in banking. You've been with a tier 1 brand name, financial institutions. Then got into BFM, which is to me the best radio station in Southeast Asia. Just let me put a plug in for Malay. I honestly believe that. Then you've gone on to be an entrepreneur. You've gone on to be an entrepreneur, right? You've been advising people. I think you run a blog or so doing that, and then now you've gone into this space. You could have done many things. Maybe you could have joined a bigger company or whatever. Why choose to go into robo advisory? And the key question also is then, why do you think that your algorithm is better than the other algorithms that are out there with maybe Kanaga, Rakuten, or MyTheo, whoever, right?
Yeah, good question.
That's like 7 questions in one, so go ahead.
Yeah, I know from experience doing Breakfast Grill is that when the guest says good question, it means they're stalling a bit because they don't know the answer to your question. But I started thinking about robo-advisory actually many years ago, not even before I joined BFM, while I was still a portfolio manager. And I thought that the portfolio management industry had something very fundamentally wrong with it because it's just based on this idea of prediction, right? And nobody has a superpower to predict anything with any form of certainty. So really, in a nutshell, the correct way to invest, at least for people who are not billionaires, I don't know, when you withdraw your money from EPF, you may have, tens of millions. So this might not apply to you, but you see, the unit trust industry services people who don't have that kind of ticket sizes. And therefore, when you invest in such a way where you're required to predict the future, something will go wrong. So the way you got to invest is with the knowledge that you don't know what's going to happen. Now, if you invest that way, then then you're talking more about risk management and not about placing bets with your precious money, right? About something that you don't know about and making big bets on it. So you got to invest the other way. Now, I tell you that when gamblers, right, they go to Genting, actually they have a right attitude, because the pros, the professional gamblers, they go in knowing that they are not going to 100% make money. All right, they don't go into Genting Casino saying, tonight I feel that red is going to be the thing, right? And I'm going to put all my money on red tonight. I'm a pro gambler would go into Genting saying there is a 50-50 chance of either red or black, and that's how you got to play the game, right? With investing is all a zero-sum game with investments, and therefore it's all about risk management and statistics rather than a bet on which stock will perform the best for you, right? That is a losing game.
Wow. Okay, interesting. So you thought of this for so long ago, and then but why then? What took so long? Was it you're just not ready? You didn't have the capital, or you had not raised the capital? And is this self-funded? And then don't forget my key question: why do you think your algorithm is better than anyone else's? And I share with you just now during my meeting with my team, one of my colleagues, I didn't know, he has actually put in 6,000 ringgit with one of the robo advisors in Malaysia. And he put his his appetite as the highest risk. So he wanted to take high risk. And after I told him about it, he said, hey, actually it's 1 year, October last year. So he while we were talking, he went online to check his returns, and his portfolio is up 2.65%. And I was totally shocked at that, Julian. I said, what the hell is the algorithm doing? Were they on holiday, or what? Did they get COVID or something? How can it be so low when you put your risk appetite as high risk? And with the market gyrations, and you've got a software, right, doing the picking for you, the returns are negligible. I could have done that for him then, man. Just doing my little bangra, I could have made 3% returns in 1 year. I was totally shocked at that. So just throw that up to you.
Well, a 2.6 or 3% return over 1 year is actually okay because this year you had so many things. You had the COVID, which really is very depressing for many businesses. Businesses are closing down left, right, and center. Yes. And then you had the very risky event of the US election. So to actually turn in a positive return over the last 12 months, actually, I would say is not bad. Now, with a highly risky portfolio that your friend took up, actually, you will see that certain years you will even be negative 10% or negative 5%.
It was negative
right?
early this year or up to the middle of the year. Yeah, okay.
So it is performing as advertised, and you need this kind of characteristics and volatility so that over the long term, actually, when you take that returns in totality, then you will get, let's say, 10% returns, which is like really much better than FD, like 10% returns per annum. You know? Yeah. So that is, but just the volatility reflects that it's performing per advertised.
Okay.
So
Why is yours better? Go to the money question, yeah. And then who developed your platform also?
We have our technological partners who will develop platforms for us. And I guess this is something possibly Roshan might ask me later because we outsource a lot of our stuff.
Malaysia or Vietnam, Philippines, India?
Malaysia.
Oh, Malaysia.
The engineers are from elsewhere. You know, they came here and they started working. There are a lot of foreign developers. So actually, robo-advisory is a borrowed idea from the US. That is what 2012 was when I started to think about the robo-advisory business. And at that time, the SC hasn't come out with the guidelines yet. So we were kind of ahead of our time. So in 2017, the SC came up with the Digital Investment Management Guidelines, the DIM guidelines. And so happened that at the end of 2017, the stars were aligned. I met my co-founder, Chong Leong, and that was when we formed Akru. And that was when we started developing Akru. And the algorithms are basically a process of taking away all the investment pain points, right? And the investment framework itself is just based on this idea of passive investing, which really says that once you have decided on the goal that you want, let's say you're planning for your retirement, which is a really long-term goal, that means that you can passively invest in sort of a standard portfolio for the next 20, 30 years until you retire. If you're planning for buying a property, for example, which you want to happen within the next 3 years, then that is a more conservative goal, which means that we will put you into a more conservative goal. And that means that you won't make a lot of money out of it, but at least your capital is protected, right? And that is a way of...
when you say we, don't you go and self-select yourself? I key in my own parameters and then, just click yes and then create account, put the money in and it goes, or no? Sounds like you all also is a hybrid model, is it? Where you guide the investor.
So that's when the algorithm is very beneficial because a lot of this investing advice specifically, right? I want to differentiate between investing and advisory. The advisory process a lot of the processes are standardized, which means that I as a financial advisor will ask questions about you, and based on that, I score you, and I will then be able to put you into a recommended portfolio.
Okay, understood. Yeah. So but the algorithm. So when somebody wants to compare, because I was telling my colleague, why don't you remove the money from there? Because I thought below 3% was super low for the high risk portfolio he wanted, and either try yours or try the Rakuten, or somebody else's one, right? And see after 1 year, because the convenience means that you can easily move your money around, right? Or am I mistaken? You can easily do that, right?
Yes, you can do that. I think technology allows you, technology basically allows you to have very little restrictions. So we don't have, you can invest 10 ringgit, 50 ringgit, or 1,000 ringgit, and you can take your money out anytime, right?
Anytime.
Anytime. So that's basically how it works. Now, the argument of the robo-advisor is that they will be able to, they are under the passive investing philosophy. And the argument, so the argument about passive investing philosophy will be able to actually, it's much better than the active investing philosophy, right? Because the active investing philosophy is based on the need to predict something. And as a result of advertising and trumpeting that skill they claim, predict the future, they charge you more money for that, like a lot more money for that, which takes away from the return. So when a robo-advisory person says that they don't need to do that, they're just giving you market returns, right? If the market is giving you 10% returns, they buy into a market index, and that's the return you get. And as a result of that, a lot of costs can be cut down, and you get a very attractive proposition as a result of that. Now, basically how we are different is that we stick to certain broad ideas. We want our portfolios to be totally globalized. We want to reduce the Malaysian exposure, because I think we are bending over backwards to reduce the Malaysian exposure. And also, we will try to use ETFs as much as possible. We are committed to the low-cost idea, and therefore we will try to reduce the usage of unit trusts and so on, which are very high-cost components.
Correct. Before Roshan comes in, your equity crowdfunding. So what's been is the campaign over now? And did you hit your? I'm sure you hit your minimum. Did you hit your maximum?
We didn't hit the maximum. Our maximum is 2 million. I think we just got just under R1 million from the users out there, and then we are going to go with a MySIF scheme.
Of course,
Yeah,
and
where
you're on lead capital, right? Not
we're on lead capital, yes.
Oh yeah, terribly sorry. I thought I said pitch-in because pitch-in
no problem.
They hit a major milestone also. Yeah.
No problem. We're on lead capital.
Please not to hack into DNA and crash the website.
Hey, we've got a few people saying hello, Alan, and Alan saying hello to us, not to you, Julian. But then he changes his mind and says hello to Julian. And then Diwakar is a bit smarter. He says hello, everyone. So he's an inclusive person. But Julian, I think maybe we've gone through a lot of technicalities. But you made a transition, from being like an analyst sort of at BFM, where it's job was relatively safe to becoming an entrepreneur, right? Talk us through one or two of the pains that you've endured over the last, I guess, 6 months to a year. I mean, how long has Akru been up and running?
He left 2 years over.
End of 17, we were set up, so we're almost 3 years already. We're almost 3 years.
No, and talk about the joys also. Roshan thinks entrepreneurship means only pain and horror stories. And
pain only. 12 years and no joy. and
I think,
so watch it. You're being by a million people.
I think we can all agree that the last 2 years have been very challenging. Of course, in 2018, we saw the general election, and after that, we had a change of government. After that, there was a pandemic, right? So our licensing process went through all that, and therefore it was very challenging, especially trying to raise money. As you know, as a startup, you are bootstrapping yourself, and therefore funding is very important.
Yeah.
And when there are major events like this, people tend to shy away, or they will take a longer time to make their decisions about whether they want to fund you or not. One moment they say, okay, we are committing this amount of funds, and then after that, that fizzles away. But I'm very lucky. We are very lucky because we had some seed investors who were confident and who placed the confidence on us to fund us, and that got us started a little bit. And now we're going to lead to raise more money. So this will keep us going for a while.
Congratulations, raising R1 million in this market also is fantastic achievement, especially because I think the market sophistication or appreciation for what you're doing is not there yet. So, and for you to raise close to R1 million is a wonderful achievement. And thanks to the Malaysian government, our taxpayer money, with the My Co-investment fund, I think you're going to be able to get $500,000, right? Or yeah, correct. So $500,000. So that's 1.5 million.
Yes.
Sorry,
yeah,
1
for 2.
Yeah, 1 for 2, 50 cents.
You mean you're going to get $500,000? That's great, lah. Wonderful, and that will give you a good runway, right, to prove your product, and that's really good. That's really good. Actually, for someone who doesn't know, because there are some non-Malaysians listening, my CIF is actually my co-investment fund. It's an initiative Malaysian government announced in 2018, but they operationalized it, I think, in 2019. So whenever you raise money through equity crowdfunding, they will, for every $2 you raise, the Malaysian government, the Malaysian public taxpayer, not public, Malaysian taxpayers, will actually give you 50% of that. So
I didn't know that. Thanks for that information. I just always knew it as MySafe. Sometimes I call it, that government fund,
my co-investment, So it's a fantastic thing, and it'll give you a runway, for you then to raise more money at a later point. So okay, sorry, answer the question that Roshan was asking then about the challenges, the toughness. Sorry, I cut you off abruptly because I wanted to come out.
No worries. So we had challenges in the funding process because of all those major events. And I must say that I kind of like to separate the two hats. One is that I'm the co-founder, or that's the, as you put it, Roshan, the entrepreneur side of me. And then the other one is that I'm an employee of Akru. I like to separate the two because we won't be able to do it alone, right? I'm just another staff of the company. Sure. And we definitely would need to hire a lot of talent to actually help us achieve our dreams. Sure. And therefore, my employee side will say to myself, okay, I just want a job that I like very much and that will fulfill me, that I have the passion for, and I just leave it to my boss, whoever my boss is, right, to pay me. But it so happened that I'm the boss also, but it kind of helps to like separate the two hats.
Right, that's the first I've heard of it. I know as an employee, you have actually very different attitudes towards public holidays. So the employee part of you must be cursing, Deepavali on the Saturday
you're like half of you, like the devil and the angel, depending on which side, or owner side.
The entrepreneur in you is saying, "Yay, public holiday on Saturday! Don't waste, don't give extra off day."
I just push it all to Chong Leong, my co-founder, to let him think of the other part of it, the entrepreneur part of it. I like to. You see, when Roshan, when you talk about why the big change, right? Really, throughout my career, I've been trying to find passion in what I do, and I love the passion in investment banking. So when the financial crisis, the global financial crisis happened about more than a decade ago, I was laid off. I had a job in Singapore. I was laid off, and I thought, oh wow, interesting. I'm laid off now, so I can think of what I want to do next. So I took a 2-year sabbatical. I took a 2-year sabbatical, and I thought, hey, this is not right. I got to get back to work, and I thought fund management would do it because I was on the broking side of things. And then after that, I went into fund management. I thought the job was very, very interesting, but after that, I quit because I couldn't agree. There was a lot of conflict inside me. And then radio came along, and I thought that was extremely interesting. After that, I quit, and now Akru. I think the job is extremely interesting. Sometimes I don't mind working on holiday, Kramjit, but I try to rest on holiday and weekends.
Actually, when you're an entrepreneur, there's no such thing as public holiday or weekends. But if you have been able to segment that, that's unusual because, but you're in your 3rd year now. But normally, as an entrepreneur, it's 24/7, and you don't mind it because it's passion. You are in a very blessed place where you love what you do. And in fact, just last night, it was like past midnight. My son was doing an assignment. Then he suddenly asked me, doesn't it get tiring? He didn't use the word boring, tiring, and I said. And I was surprised, but I said no because I say it's important. So can you imagine at almost 1 a.m. in the morning you're doing something which is not the exciting part of your job, but you when somebody catches you with a surprise, with a question that surprises you, you answer instinctively, and no, it's important. And I was, I don't know what to make of that, but I found it interesting how I answered straight from your subconscious, right?
Yep. So there's a slight echo, I think, coming from Julian. So blame it on the guest. as we always do, right, Kalam? It's always their fault, right?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I had to come to the office. I wanted
worries.
to do this at home. I wanted to do this at home, but I had my dogs at home. So then I came to the office, and the office right now is a little bit bad. So there's this slight echo here. I do apologize.
No problem. No, but the
Is
voice
there
is
anything
clear.
I can do? Like, can I wrap it in my T-shirt or something?
It's just a couple of guests are saying there's a little bit of an echo, but I think that's okay. I mean, as long as we can hear Julian, we should be good to go. We're gonna take a quick short break, Julian. So we're gonna come back in about 5 minutes or so. We're gonna take a quick 30-second sponsor break, and then Karam is gonna talk through a couple of the tech stories that are the most exciting. Last time he used to do 5, but he rambled, so we cut him down to 4 this week. So it's only 4. We're limiting Karam to 4 stories this week, and then we'll bring you back.
The Travis team and the ecosystem will puncture your car tire when they see you somewhere. Okay.
There you go. The threats that the poor guy gets. Anyway, we'll be back.
Talking about car, Julian, the comment that one of the fellows was making, right? That why go with somebody, an investment fund, a professional manager, or even a platform like yours, because you're helping enrich them. I honestly thought it's an unfair comment, but there will be people who think that way also. So that's why in my intro, I said there are 3 ways you can decide how to invest your money. What do you think of that comment, though?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't understand the question.
No. So I was talking too fast. Sorry. So no, one of my ex-colleagues, when I asked him that, look, there's this robo-advisory option, and there's also the old way of going with a professional investor. Which one do you think I should go with? He said, no, do it on your own, because there are so many free tools out there. There's a lot of data already available also. Just invest on your own. He's saying, and why pay people commission? And he used the analogy that I'll be helping you or the other fund manager, the professional fund manager, or not fund manager, investment advisor, to just get their luxury cars.
Okay, doing it on your own is the least recommended thing to me. Even I have the ability to do it on my own, but I hate doing it on my own. So since 2012, I've been like wishing there was a robo-advisor in the market. So this is an example I use once in a while, right? I love eating cake.
Okay.
Right? Now, obviously, I can learn how to bake a cake, but I have the chance now to go out there and buy from the best bakers in town, right? So let's just do that. No, there are other things that you really don't want to do on your own, like perform your own surgery when you travel, flying your own plane, even planning your own wedding. A lot of wedding planners are in demand right now, right? So it's DIY in investing, unless you really love to do it, right? Don't do it. Just don't do it. Yeah.
Just, at the end of the day, that you need certain kind of expertise, and you can get there. I mean, you can learn. Everyone can learn, but it's going to take time and effort. So why waste your time? We really got to take a break right now. We'll be back.
Don't go back here.
Back with you, because we have the guest grill that will come up, where we always ask some exciting questions, and if you cannot answer them, Karam will answer them. So don't worry. We're gonna take a short break right now. We're gonna go into a short little ad on from our sponsor Nicole. So hang on there. And there you have it. And for Tech Talk viewers, we have a very special promo code, and it uses my name. So it's partly my name, Roshan T Lead 30. Go to nicole.app and you can get that software today, right now, the most happening learning app out there. So welcome back to Tech Talk Friday, and I'm back here with Karam. Karam's top 5, right? Or top 4. We've cut you down, right? I mean. No more rambling. So it's only top 4 tech stories this week, and the first one is on Pitchin, right? So we were supposed to get Sam this.
Yeah.
to pitch in actually now is past US 24 million crowdfunding. Big milestone for them. Talk us through that. You've got 40 seconds.
No, look, this is your classic example of democratizing investments, right? Which is what the Malaysian Securities Commission wanted also. So, no, they were one of the first 6, I think, equity crowdfunding platforms to come around. And look, they've hit a milestone this end of last month. Super excited, right? They have actually raised this. Is the amount 24.1 million US? Is actually 100 million ringgit. Okay, and they've actually helped 74 companies and raise money from almost 5,000 investors. And that is the number I'm most excited about. 5,000 people out there decided to invest in this many companies, right? Some of them could have put money into property, which is the traditional way. They said, no, let me take a bet on these people, right? So it's exciting. We look forward to having Sam and Cash on next Friday on the show. And what's interesting also, one of them is a Liverpool fan, one is a Manchester United fan. So they've been able to overcome this great rivalry.
Both wrong clubs to support, but anyway. Anyway, we'll move on. I think about 2 years ago, I managed to meet up with Randy Zuckerberg, who was actually Mark Zuckerberg's sister. So she was in KL.
Why was lah? She is lah. Was.
She was in KL, right? I mean, she isn't.
You said was Mark Zuckerberg's sister, like she's not anymore.
Okay, I don't know lah.
Not to be your English teacher lah. Not to be your English teacher, but
okay. Karam, the English teacher today. So we have English. What do you call English Wednesday or what? English Friday. Okay, so MTM to 2020. You heard Randy Zuckerberg speak. Was very inspiring, right? What Randy was saying. I mean, Randy had a really good talk. A lot of people were talking about it. Tell us a bit about what Randy spoke at MTM.
Yeah. No, so look, what was surprising was she was very positive and she seemed very comfortable with Malaysia. And coincidentally, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they brought up the fact that she was actually in Malaysia in 2014 when Magic was launched. That she actually came down, and that's why she built a personal affinity and affection for Malaysia, and she liked it. So no wonder she spoke with such enthusiasm and genuineness. So she's basically saying, look, the pandemic has created new opportunities for innovation if you take risks, okay? If you don't take risks, right, you're not going to achieve anything. So go out and take risks, which is what I know Julian is doing now. And also, being a woman, she also was concerned that women are already falling behind because, with this pandemic now, many more women are taking the sacrifice to be at home with the kids, right, for everything. So there is pushing women's empowerment back a full generation or more. So of course, as a woman, she's talking about that lah. But she said, look, never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah,
and I don't agree lah. She said there's never been a better time in the last 20 years to try something new. And she said if it doesn't work, you can blame the pandemic. So
but I mean, actually, if you go back to a history of her life, because we had a good conversation on her life, and it was mirrored with a bunch of crises, and each of the crises actually ended up making her even better. And ultimately, obviously, the big bailout came when her brother kind of made Facebook happen, and she became the marketing head of Facebook. And that really propelled her to a very different level.
She's got shares also. She's got lots of shares still. I saw her net worth is 200 million US.
Yeah, she's still a shareholder there. MTDC, right? With the I4, is it I4 solution? Talk us through this. What's happening?
This is the MTDC, is the Malaysian Technology Development Corporation, right? And what's important is that this is one of the many agencies out there that helps companies, right? But MTDC helps technology companies, but they also help brick and mortar companies, Roshan. And they've got an interesting program where they every year together with the Entrepreneur Ministry, they pick 100 SMEs, right? And once they pick the SMEs, what they do is, Roshan, they go to the SMEs and they say, what is your comfort level for wanting to adopt some element of Industry 4.0? So it's not IR 4.0. Industry 4.0 is for manufacturing companies, okay? What are you comfortable with? So because they're all still largely manual. So instead of them saying, I got budget, I'm going to give you centers, data analytics, machine learning, no. They speak to the entrepreneur, find out what they think they can use, and then they apply that. Because then when you have buy-in, right, they said the companies will adopt it more. And this is lessons learned from many years where you get a budget and you're excited. Hey, I got money. I can give you 200,000 worth of equipment or sensors, right? It ends up not being used. So from the past, painfully learning that, they are now implementing this very interesting program. I think it's the second or third year they're doing it, and I like it. So, and I told them that next I'm going to do an article where I talk to some of these entrepreneurs, right, and talk about how they've moved half a step forward, maybe with the help of MTDC, using some elements of software or in the manufacturing process. So in this process, they are working specifically with manufacturing companies, right? So that's what this article is about.
Fantastic. So all these articles are on DNA, right? So
these two articles are and then
go ahead. You want to talk about NTIS?
Not NTIS yet, but maybe there's another company raised money from ECF. Their campaign just closed, and just like Julian also, they actually raised just over a hair over 1 million ringgit. This was with Atta Plus, right? Okay. They raised 1,065,000 ringgit, right? So they were when you raise money, Roshan, right? You set a minimum and you set a maximum. So theirs was in between the two amounts, which is still good. And this is a company which I find interesting, Roshan. They are doing point of sales, right, for F&B and for retail. And I was telling them, look, this is a red ocean market, right? You throw a stone and you'll hit a company selling you a POS system, correct? But this entrepreneur is targeting SMEs. He said that two things are different now. He said that the profile of people who are becoming F&B entrepreneurs are younger. So if they're younger, means they're already receptive using technology. But their one thing hasn't changed. They want it to be as cheap as possible. So he's come up with a cloud, and they build their own cloud-based, SAS software, right? Software as a service, cloud-based. And they're implementing it to the market. He says it's got about 500 over customers, just around 500 customers. It's a 2.5-year-old company. So very interesting. Credit to SecTech, right? The company, and the founder is Kevin Ng. So you can go and read more about them.
Fantastic. And that's also in
DNA,
right? Okay. And for those of you who want to catch the interview with Randy Zuckerberg, that's the link. You can go and listen to Randy Zuckerberg. So that and her life story and so on, right? So
Karam, one more. Yeah, this is the.
I said four.
I know. This is the fourth one, lah. This is the fourth one. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to play a card game on you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I cannot believe you actually counted. You think in on a live show I'll try to con you, is it? Okay. Anyway, you're wasting my time. So the NTIS is Malaysia has got this thing called the National Technology and Innovation. S is for Sandbox. Okay. Yep. So this is an incentive created by the government, not an agency, right? And the idea is to help you experiment, to innovate, in a sandbox, safe environment, to come up with different ways to do business. Because they say, especially with COVID now, companies have to adapt, right? And like Randy was saying, that you got to take risks. So this helps you take risks, whether it's with regulatory red tape or business model risk. This is a safe space for you to come. And there's also funding available for you there. So this story is about that, and Magic is driving this. So you've got MTDC CEO actually is talking about that, and also the CIO, the Chief Technology Officer, one of the biggest funds in the country, Permodalan National Berhad. He also shared his comments about how they are also a partner of this. So it's very important, right? The government gets the private sector, although it's a government-linked agency, right? To put in money and to be involved also. So very interesting program. Go and check that out, especially if you're Malaysian.
Will be good initiative for startups, sorry, to really check out at this point.
Of course, correct. So this is it, lah.
All right. So with that, let's.
I got many more. You can give me more time. I can talk about KPMG.
Okay. I won't. So let's just move back to Julian. So Julian, welcome back. We're not going to give Karam more time. Julian,
come on, just a quick. You're giving the ecosystem time, you selfish bugger.
You. At the end of the show, Karam always complains. We talk too long. We need to cut the show down.
You talk too long. You talk too long.
Well, you still have your viewership, right?
Let's be in a forgiving.
No, the viewership is very small. It's our relatives and whoever we pay to watch, okay? And whoever is a paycheck we sign.
Okay, Julian, your quick thoughts on Karam's 4 stories, if there are.
I thought the Randy Zuckerberg story was interesting. I didn't really know that Mark Zuckerberg had a sister and that she's only worth $200 million.
Shame on him, shame on him.
Maybe I hope she can put some money in Akru.
His co-founder Eduardo Severin is also not worth much. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're in Singapore now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, I think that so far the efforts to promote the ecosystem, like the tech ecosystem in Malaysia, is showing good results. And I think that this is something that the government should do more, because, in BFM, I always rail against how the government is funding GLCs and, Khazanah is using money to buy into a lot of staying in GLCs, right? Money. But when you actually look into ideas that are coming from the tech side and the startup side, I think this is one way to future-proof the economy.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually the MySIF initiative is pretty good. I mean, that sense,
it's fantastic.
It really gives, it really puts the money where people are where people put the money. You kind of taking a co-risk opportunity with that.
Look, 500,000, Julian is going to get 500,000. Who's even given you 500 ringgit? Right? Your family members, you say, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Which uncle came and say, oh, you're
Julian's uncle would have put a few million in, Karam. They're not like your relatives. Okay, never mind.
Not really. Not really.
We got to get to the test the guest challenge. So Julian, 5 quick questions. You got about 30 seconds to answer each of them, right? So the maximum 2 minutes. Okay. So very quick. Okay. If you can't answer them, you pass them to Karam, and Karam will answer
just them. Pretend your reception is bad. You say, I can't see you, Roshan. I can't see you. Sorry. Thanks a lot.
You can't use that gag anymore. All right.
Wow.
Question number 1. If you had a time machine and could change one thing in the past, what would it be and why?
I would. I wish that I had technology when I was younger. I was able to read Medium, and listen to podcasts and gain a lot of knowledge from these things. So if I had to, I don't know whether this answers the question, but I wish I had more technology in the past.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, great. When you think of Tech Talk, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
2 very entertaining people.
Wow, that's the first positive answer we've got in years.
First positive answer.
Well, this is, to be honest, this is the first time I've listened to Tech Talk. I'm on the show, and I'm quite impressed. So there you go.
Right, there you go. Karam, our first positive feedback. Well, see how? Okay.
Really? Yeah.
You're choosing
people have negative feedback about you.
No, just kidding. Okay, if you could switch your profession without any consequence, what would you be now?
I would either be a gamer or a computer programmer or maybe a chess player, a poker player. Or actually quite a lot. Quite a lot. I need time to think about this. So 30 seconds. 30 seconds is not enough.
You're a confused young man. Never mind. We'll move on to the next one. Name one person you'd like to switch lives with right now.
Wow. I don't know, man. I passed this one. I haven't really thought about it. A lot of pressure here.
Yeah.
That's okay.
30 seconds. 30 seconds to think about this.
Yeah, if you can. I'll give you another 3 seconds.
No, I'll pass this one.
All right, Karam, you want to answer that? No, never mind. We'll go to number 5. Tell us your most exciting time in life. And that's it. Number 5. You got 3.
So I think that there was a time after my SPM and before my university. I mean, man, I was happy at the time. I was really, really happy. But ironically, as I get older, I've become more contented and happy. Not necessarily exciting, because exciting is filled with dopamines, right? Now we're talking about serotonins, and I have contentment. So I feel good, right now.
Fantastic. So
by the way, that's not the answer you got to give to investors. You got to be on the edge of your seat. Say, I'm angry, I'm hungry, I want to eat up the market. Everybody sucks. I got a great product. Okay, that's how you're going to talk.
But robo-advisor is about having calmness. Not trying to find excitement in stocks in the next big stock tip or something like that. That's bad.
Exactly.
That's not the philosophy that we want to.
Not everybody.
When you go and see investors, go in your Buddhist robes and your rosaries. Okay, And when you're not talking, like hum a bit.
Noted.
All right, there you go.
Good advice.
The test, the guest challenge, you did 4 out of 5. So Karam will buy you dinner one of these days, right? So
Looking
good luck
forward
with
to
that.
it.
I don't like that twist to it now.
Looking forward. I'll risk COVID to have dinner with you, Karam.
All right, we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up the show in a bit. So Julian, any final thoughts you'd like to share with us?
On the lead platform, or no, close already.
Yes. It's closing in a couple of days' time.
Oh,
but,
still got time. Great. Okay.
There is still some time. So go for it.
So I think it's
guess
lead.capital.
Okay, Vikesh has said that. Okay.
That's the link over there.
Fantastic.
And
Okay, Roshan, where he's talking still. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, you're asking for my thoughts, is it?
yeah.
So I think that robo-advisors as a whole would give us this paradigm shift in how we think about investing, because I think it's very liberating when you don't have to do your own investing, and when you, more importantly, when you have your investments sort of sorted out, right? You get peace of mind, you get the clarity, and you can actually do the other things that you will find are important or will make you happy. For example, if you had to spend time actually learning how to invest, that actually takes a lot of time away from, for example, your career. So you just, let's say, leave that investing with someone and focus on your career. I think that actually gives you more satisfaction, or actually, if not career, maybe with the things that you love doing, the people that you love being with. I think that adds more value into your life. So I think it's early days for robo-advisors. This will, in future, within a few years, we will see that paradigm shift in people's thinking about robo-advisory.
Yeah. So there's a big opportunity. You can still invest in
absolutely.
Akru. And I mean, I'm just going to do another shout out, because we are doing a Series A funding on Funnel, and because Karam suddenly has huge disposable income, we're going to make Karam an investor in Ligaromics. We have just launched our Series A, so on Funnel, which is a Singapore-based ECF, also an ECF, initial ECF, and then
I only invest in those who use Malaysian platform. Okay, I cannot touch you. You could use Singapore platform. Okay.
but in Malaysia, so we get the MySafe.
Okay, MySafe
funding, but that's because we also have a VC matching going on in Singapore with our Series A. So that's us. I just want to do a final call out, because one of the things that we do at Tech Talk is we support communities in need, and we just launched this initiative called Bounce Back, and Bounce Back is really about getting global speakers together and getting them to basically do a series of leadership development sessions and providing them for the Malaysian, Indonesian, Thai audience. And essentially, these are great speakers like Jack Canfield and Immaculée, who's Oprah Winfrey's most favorite guest. Getting all of them, and then basically you get access to them, and in exchange, 100% of the proceeds go to charities across Southeast Asia. So, quick video on Bounce Back. Give me a second. Karam, Julian, welcome back to the show. So Bounce Back, if it goes to bouncebacksummit.org, 100%, it's only $120 per ticket. It's a 1-year leadership development program, so over 1 year, and you get access to Nicole also as part of the deal. And next week on Wednesday, if you want, just go to this link below, bit.ly BB kickoff, and you get access free for the first session by Jamie Andrews, a guy who lost all 4 limbs, right? Hands, legs, and both his legs and both his hands in an accident as a mountaineer. His best friend died during that accident, but he managed to transform himself to climb Kilimanjaro, Everest.
Wow.
He's managed to, and he's even scaled the Swiss Alps with no hands and no legs. So you get to hear his story, and you get to hear some amazing tools. I met Jamie. He's been a guest in my house a number of times, and I always show my kids. I mean, my kids just get impressed how he eats with no hands.
Wow.
He uses forks and spoons, and he lives a normal life, and it's so amazing to. So free session. We have a free session, and then the summit starts with Chester Elton, the guy who wrote the book on gratitude, on the 25th of November, and it goes on every week for 14 weeks. So it's amazing summit. So sign up for Bounce Back, our CSR pool, and for the rest of you who are celebrating Diwali, we want to wish you a fabulous celebration tomorrow. I'm going to end with the beard himself. I mean, Karam. Sorry, Karam. So Karam, as always, we give you the final say. We do this polite thing, Julian. We actually let Karam have the final say. I don't know why we do this, but we do this, But he doesn't.
He whacks me left and right in the show, and he's talking nonsense. Okay, enough.
Okay, there you go. You get a final say, and you can whack me now.
Mute yourself. I only got one thing to say. Look, for all those who are maybe not from Malaysia also who you're listening, I think the platform that Julian has built is incredible, and very important to hear him say, right, we're at the early stages of this robo-advisory wave. I would recommend you to actually look at his platform, and while the opportunity is still there, invest in them now, and you're investing at the downside, right, at the beginning of the curve up. So I think it's a great investment to make. Go ahead and do it. And one more thing. No, seriously, and I think you are, Roshan, Bikesh is right there, you plugged that in already. Another thing, because I was talking to this this incredible professional investment advisor, he actually strongly recommended me to buy a book for my kids. And you may know this book, Julian, I'm not sure. It's called Learn, L-E-A-R-N, Learn to Earn, E-A-R-N. And it's apparently targeted at kids, right? So he said, get my 2 teenage boys to read the book. And it's written by one of the early legends of the US stock exchange, one of the billionaire fund managers. So I'm going to go online and buy the book. And for you out there, because I'm going to buy it, I'm saying this. So have a look and see whether you'll get there for your kids or not. And get them started early on the path to becoming a bit more savvy. Like Julian said, right, he wished he had the tools, right, before when he was younger, right, to read and listen. And basically, he said he wanted to acquire knowledge. So this book can be a way for your kids maybe to expand their horizons and acquire knowledge also, and to build on that. So those are my last words.
Fantastic. And there's some, Warren Buffett actually has a fantastic.
I
think it's very interesting. You spoke about kids and book, but there's a great YouTube series. I think it's called Secret Millionaire or something by Warren Buffett. And it's kids. You should watch this, Karam. I mean, you go check it out. The Secret Millionaire Club. It's called the Secret Millionaires Club. It's a series by Warren Buffett himself teaching kids how to invest. So I watched it and I was amazed, and I got a couple of my kids to watch it, and they kind of. So with that, I'm gonna end. Invest. We talked about investment, so don't forget to make that investment in Lead Capital with Akru. And if you're checking out, might as well check Lead Round Mix on our Series A. But the final comment I want to give to one guest called Alex Raja, who says Karam gives great advice. Wow. There you have it, guys. Karam actually gives great advice. So with that, thank you, everyone. We have Tech Talk Friday. And for us, thank you for all of those celebrating Diwali. Have a great have a great celebration. And to all Malaysians, have a great weekend. And to all of you in Southeast Asia, keep kicking butt and let's have fun, keep using technology, and let's continue to make a difference in this world in a positive way. So with that, that's Tech Talk Friday for you. Thanks, Karam. Thanks, Julian. Appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
All the best, everyone.